Hey everybody, welcome back to JT channel, and in lieu of what was supposed to be a big MAW special, today you're just going to get me in an unusual environment, talking to you guys about the upcoming MAW event, August, 16th and 17th, 17th and 18th, that weekend, Monsters Ball and Mistresses Ball. I have the match card here, and be forward and honest with you, I ran out of time to do MAW, and I promised you guys no more MAW on 2K23, and I have not finished moving everybody to 25. So, apologies if you were expecting Bash at the Beach Break, whatever the hell I was going to call it. I'm going to try to sneak in, like, maybe some extra MAW episode, like, single matches, not episodes, but one-shots, and maybe some more Roblox horror here and there. I also dropped that today. Part 2 of me playing Trespasser. It did not go well. So be sure to check that out. But right now, we're going to jump into it. Before we dive in, remember, this is a 2-day MAW event where every single match has to have a stipulation. Monsters Ball is all the men. Mistresses Ball is all the women. And usually, it goes the other way around. Saturday's Mistresses and Sunday's Monsters. But this year, we are flopping it, as you can tell. Saturday will be Monsters, and Sunday will be Mistresses. The order of the matches hasn't been finessed yet, so I'm just going to walk you through all the matches except for the main events. We know what those are. And I'll also make sure to explain the matches to you. So on Monsters Ball, one of the matches we have is Eric Diablo versus Freddy Voorhees in MAW's first ever ambulance match. Now, I will admit this is me kind of screwing with 2K25, but for long-time MAW fans, it's been on YouTube for 2.5 years, Eric Diablo and Freddy Voorhees have a deep, personal, lengthy feud, and Night 1 needed a special non-title match, because every championship's being defended at this show. And this is what MAW management Johnny Gomez came up with. Right, the next chapter in the Eric and Freddy feud, but we're doing it in an ambulance match. An ambulance match, for those of you who don't know, you got to beat your opponent up, throw them in an ambulance. Sounds easy, but it will be brutal. That is for sure. That is your first match at Monsters Ball. Now we get into the title matches. Guillermo Gutierrez faces Hosakai and Ray Diego. That's right. The three men known as Lucha Legacy battle in a three-way dance for the Ultraviolent Championship. For those of you who don't remember, Guillermo won this title because Hosakai told him he earned a shot at it. Guillermo's repaying that favor while also bringing in the man he is training, his protege, Ray Diego, current Mr. Money in the Bank. Three-way dance, elimination, that's all that means. But calling it a three-way dance harkens back to the days of ECW. And that championship, like I said, the Ultraviolent Championship is on the line. And the biggest thing about that belt is that the champions get to make the matches. So that'll be a very fun Lucha Libre three-way dance, and I cannot wait to see it again. Ultraviolent Championship on the line. The men's tag team titles will be decided, as we saw when the Brotherhood took on YNF. We now know it is going to be the Brotherhood against Legends Never Die, the new tag team champions, who finally won those belts back at Hell on Earth. That will be a tables elimination match. You have to put both members of a team through a table. You go through a table, you're out of there. So that's how the tag team titles will be decided. I don't think this match has ever happened, especially not for the tag belts. So this is going to be one of those first evers. That'll be good. The Middle Earth Championship will be online as Tank takes on Alexander Winters, former Monsterweight champion before that title was discontinued in lieu of and replaced by the Ultraviolent Championship. So, and that's why Alex earned this opportunity. Tank didn't really have any proper opponents, no number one contenders. So Alex has stepped up to the plate as a former champion himself of a belt that no longer exists. So this is going to be your big man match. Two absolute behemoths in Tank and Alex. And this is Falls Count Anywhere. Pretty self-explanatory. You can pin your opponent anywhere in the building to retain that title. Tank has a little bit of PTSD with that stipulation. If you know, you know. But Falls Count Anywhere between those two men. Hopefully the arena can hold. Finally, it's our main event. Austin Anderson, who defeated Hosakai in a number one contenders match, taking on JT Anderson, the current world champion, in Anderson versus Anderson 3. These two battled in Wembley Stadium, where JT, I believe, retained the title. Maybe he won it from Austin. Then Austin beat JT in a ladder match at Rumble in the Bronx. This is their first one-on-one match in a year and a half It's how long it's been since these two have locked up. And much to the chagrin, perhaps, of Austin Anderson, JT has made this a Texas death match. The only way to win is by submission or knockout. And the reason it seems like it's been a long time since we've heard the phrase Texas death, because the last Texas death match that JT Anderson was involved in, he lost to his arch nemesis, Neos Diablo. This was like 2 years ago. Because it was at Hell on Earth. We all know how Hell on Earth this year went and last year. So it's been 2.5 years since JT has set foot in a match that he loves. But he has made it this because him and his brother's feud, we all know how bad it is. We all know how intense it is. And he wants to put a nail in it at the third outing. They're 1-1, but who can survive Texas death? So that's your Mistresses Ball card. That will be Saturday night. Again, the 16th or 17th. I don't remember which. Mistresses Ball on night 2 is full of big matches. The new girls in town, the current women's tag team champions, AJ and Akira, decided that since they also, much like Tank, don't have a proper number 1 contender, they were also going to call people out. But this time they were way more specific, because they specifically invited the Bad Girls Club, the Daughters of Darkness, and Sky and Rose for a 4-way, you already know, ladder match for the women's tag team titles. No proper number 1 contenders, 2 former champions, and a newer team that has been dominating the scene in a ladder match for the women's tag belts. New girls in town have been insanely impressive this year, and last year, really. They've been champions for a long time. That's why they're putting their heart and soul out there against 3 other teams. We'll have to see if it pays off. Yukari Soy Hun won what was it at our July 4th show? What did we call it? It was like an international showcase 4-way match. It was her, it was Angela, it was Madison, who we'll get to in a little bit, believe it or not. And there was someone else in the match, and I apologize. Isabella Ramel, I believe. And we said that the match was just a showcase of international wrestlers wrestling here in America. But instead, Johnny Gomez decided she does get a championship opportunity against Melissa Brazil for the Savage Rose Championship. And Melissa, stepping outside the box here, has challenged Yukari to a submission match. Now, again, much like Falls Count Anywhere, pretty self-explanatory. You can only win by submission. Interesting part is neither of these women are submission wrestlers. Yukari is a striker. Melissa's an all-rounder. So it's going to be interesting to see who pulls out the most submissions. Melissa has used an STF in the past, but it's not like a go-to. She just dives and AAs, whereas Yukari just will kick you in the face until your nose falls off. So who can win a submission match? And again, Savage Rose Championship on the line. I said each night needed a non-title match. The non-title match on this one is a rematch from Hell on Earth. Lisa walked into Hell on Earth with an open challenge to specifically the person sending in Creepy Moon videos, which happened to be Luna making her big return. Luna would dominate Lisa at Hell on Earth in a shocking display, and now Lisa has demanded a rematch, and Luna has agreed, and Johnny Gomez has made it a casket match. Now, I don't think MAW's never had a casket match. I think we had one, but it was over a decade ago. It was back when the world was black and white. So this is our first casket match in ages and ages and ages, and for sure, the first women's casket match ever. So we're doing a lot of firsts on this weekend. So exciting for that. Luna, Lisa, first women's casket match ever. The feud continues. We also have the Crimson Bell Championship to be decided. Amber Reeves defends against the former champion, Kimberly Carter, who, remember, lost it in a ladder match. See, everything ties together. Back at Hell on Earth to Amber. Big rematch between them. This is going to be under Pure Rules. Now, in Ring of Honor, a Pure Rules match has a lot more to it than this. But in MAW, there is a 20 count on the outside. There are absolutely no rope breaks and a hard 20-minute time limit. If it goes 20 minutes, it will go to a panel of judges. So I believe that is part of the ROH one. I think in ROH, so you get 3 rope breaks or something like that. So again, Pure Rules, 20 count, no rope breaks, time limit, and if you go to the time limit draw, it goes to a panel of judges. So good luck to both Amber and Kimberly in case we go to that time limit. Finally, the main event of Night 2, Mistresses Ball. The match closing the weekend is Evelyn Quinn defending her women's world title against Madison Osborne. That's right. The feud that began earlier this year due to Evelyn losing her belt back in February and Madison winning the Rumble is coming full circle. Madison lost to Hell on Earth, and she was the first person eliminated in the International 4-Way I mentioned earlier. However, she has challenged Evelyn, and this is the deal they've come up with. If Madison loses, she steps away from the Women's Championship forever. No more chances, no more opportunities. Evelyn wants her gone. Evelyn decided that that would be hers. And she said that Madison could have whatever she wanted as long as she agreed to that stipulation, which Madison has. Madison has agreed to that stipulation, which is nuts, by the way. But Madison's stipulation is revolving around the match because for the first time in about 2 years, 2 women are stepping inside Hell in a Cell. Never a bad women's Hell in a Cell in MAW. They always bring it. And these two are in the midst of a brutal feud that's been going on, as my camera shakes, since February. And they're looking to take it to the end with the Women's World Championship on the line and Madison's future with the Women's World title on the line inside Devil's Favorite Structure, I think is what we like to call it. Hell in a Cell. So there you have it. That is your rundown for MAW's not Hell on Earth. Where am I? No. For MAW's Monsters Ball, Mistresses Ball taking place in 3 weeks. A couple of things at the end of this video if you decide to wait. One, I know I usually do match graphics, but we have company over and I haven't moved everybody to 2K25 like I told you. And I want everything to look good. I don't want to give you guys 2K23 match graphics just to see the new match graphics when we get to the actual show. That's the other thing is this will only take place as long as they have... I wanted Bash at the Beach to be on 2K25. I briefly considered doing it on 23 and just being like, oh, it's the farewell show, but that's not what I wanted. So that's why I replaced it with this. I'm sorry, this is just kind of me talking. And as far as the next couple of weeks, next week is MAW. I almost said, I'm so sorry, everybody. Next week is Retro Wrestling Rewind. If you watched the last episode, I said I was going to cover Starrcade 1998. I got my schedule mixed up. Next week is SummerSlam. So next week will be a SummerSlam review, and I'm doing 2005. If you know, you know. If you don't know, it's an incredible show. You should go watch it. It's so much fun. Make sure you get the context of all the wild matches. And then in 2 weeks, Saturday of the Day, we'll be talking about the future of horror legends, such as Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, Hellraiser, the Evil Dead franchise, and of course, perhaps most recently, Freddy Krueger. I have a lot to say about that. And then, as I mentioned, 3 weeks, Monsters Ball, Mistresses Ball. So thank you everybody so much for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, leave comments down below, all that kind of stuff. Sorry to give you 6 weeks without MAW, but I think it'll be worth it in the end. As always, the W Energy sponsorship is ongoing. You head to wenergy.gg, that's D-U-B-B-Y energy.gg. You can order their energy powder and drinks and things like that. And they have a tumbler as well that comes with a couple of samples. Or you can order the big tubs. And if you put in my code, JT Channel, all caps, one word, you'll get 10% off your order. They're jitter-free and they're sugarless, all that kind of stuff. So until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT, and I'll see you in the next one.